It is 4 days in and authorities are really urging residents at this point to heed those evacuation warnings that have been issued. Julia Bradley is following an SES crew in Windsor at the moment. Julia, how's the river looking there?
Well, Ash, this is the Hawkesbury Nepean like we've never seen it before here in Windsor. This is actually the worst flooding that this area has seen in about 40 years. The river level here is almost at 14 metres. Residents I've been speaking to this morning say that they really didn't expect it to get this high. This level is already higher than what we saw early this year and also last year. And people just, I guess, were caught off guard in a way because they didn't think it would get to this level. If you can see just out along the Hawkesbury Nepean now, you can see just how high that water has gotten and really the extent of the devastation. Sky News given an exclusive look at the situation that the Windsor community is facing. We're here on an SES boat and I'm joined by Frank, who is a rescue officer. And Frank, what have you been doing the last few days?
The first 2 days of the event, I was in the ops room, administering some of the requests for information. And yesterday and today I've been on the flood boat doing deliveries backwards and forwards from Windsor to Wilberforce. And basically that's been it.
And that's what we're doing now. So in the process of delivering medical equipment to residents who are cut off?
Medical supplies from Windsor down to Wilberforce, yes. Yep.
How many drops have you done the last few days? This is a routine part of the job.
It's a routine part of the job. Don't ask me how many we did the last few days, but a few, as well as other things as well, yeah.
And you were telling me that you've worked for the SES for about 18 years, is that right?
18 years, yes. I've been in the SES for 18 years, yeah.
And have you ever seen the river like this before, in Windsor in particular?
I've been here to 2 other events when the floods this year, but this is the highest I've seen it, yeah.
And there must have been quite a few rescues the last few days as well?
That I can't answer because I don't do the actual rescues. That's something Metropolitan Zone organise that, yeah.
Well, hopefully the flood threat starts to ease in the next few days.
Yes, for sure. I hope so. Yeah.
Thank you for taking us out today. We also this morning caught up with a resident, Sarah Kennedy, who lives not too far from here. Now, we were down talking to her yesterday afternoon and her husband, and they were really caught off guard. Overnight, they said they didn't get much sleep. That river level has come up the highest that they've ever seen it. Sarah, how long have you lived in this house?
Just over 12 months.
Have you ever seen it like this before?
No.
How quickly did the water come up last night?
It was really quickly in the early hours of the morning, so it was surprising.
What was going through your mind at that time? I still was quite relaxed. I thought it's not going to come in. It's never been in this house before. This was my father-in-law's house. He built it, and it's in the 80s, so it's never been in before, and I was still quite relaxed, thinking, that still won't come in. And then it did. The SES are doing such crucial work. This is about the 4th flood emergency that has gripped this particular area in about 5 months. So it's an incredibly flood-weary community here in Windsor. And they're really urging people to only call out if it is really an emergency situation, because earlier at that press conference we heard from the Commissioner that there was actually a hoax call last night that the SES diverted a lot of resources to.
Very disappointingly, we had a hoax last night of a person on a roof who was in need of a flood rescue, and it turned out to be a hoax. But what happens is, because it's to try and save a life, we target our resources and try and get out there to save that person, and it means we take them away from other areas. And we really had a lot of calls for assistance last night that were really important.
So if you look out across the Hawkesbury Nepean, you can really just see the extent of the devastation. You can really just see the tops of the trees at the moment and the tops of properties as well, power lines as well, just sitting a margin above the river level. This is really a difficult time for residents who live along the Hawkesbury Nepean River. The clean-up is going to be a long one. This is a situation that they've faced many times before, but the worst flooding that this area has seen in 40 years.
Yeah, just absolutely remarkable scenes there. Julia Bradley, thank you. Live there in Windsor. We need more Australians like Frank, I think, and fewer pranksters. Just shocking to hear that people would use up SES resources like that at such a difficult time.